As the US-Israel war on Iran continues into its third week, a new diplomatic controversy has emerged after a report by the New York Times claimed Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman privately encouraged US President Donald Trump to continue striking Iran. But Saudi officials have now denied the claim, adding another layer of tension to an already complex regional conflict. According to the New York Times, President Trump is facing a difficult strategic choice 2 weeks into the war he launched alongside Israel: either continue fighting to achieve ambitious military objectives or attempt to scale back from a conflict that is expanding across the region. Amid that backdrop, the report claimed that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who has been in regular conversations with Trump, advised the US president to keep hitting the Iranians hard. However, Saudi Arabia has strongly rejected that claim. A Saudi source told Al Arabiya that the report is incorrect and that the kingdom's leadership did not encourage a prolonged conflict with Iran. The denial follows a similar incident earlier this month. The Saudi embassy in Washington had also rejected a report by the Washington Post which claimed the kingdom had privately lobbied the Trump administration to launch strikes against Iran. Saudi Arabia has publicly maintained that it is working with other Gulf countries to prevent a wider military confrontation in the region and has repeatedly said it would not participate in any war. Despite the denial, Iranian officials have reacted strongly to the media reports. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi called for clarification from Gulf states following the New York Times report, saying that if governments in the region are encouraging attacks on Iran, their positions should be clearly explained. Araghchi made the remarks while highlighting the civilian toll of the war, noting that hundreds of Iranian civilians have been killed, including more than 200 children, in US-Israeli attacks. Iranian officials have also warned that Gulf states hosting US military bases cannot expect Iran to ignore attacks launched from those facilities. Senior Iranian security official Ali Larijani questioned why Iran should stand idly by if US bases in neighboring countries are being used to strike Iranian territory. At the same time, Iran has continued to insist that it is not targeting Gulf states themselves, saying its operations are directed only at US and Israeli interests. The war has already placed Gulf countries in a difficult position. Since the conflict began on February 28, Gulf states hosting US forces have faced more than thousands of missile and drone attacks, targeting US military bases, diplomatic missions, oil infrastructure, ports and airports across the region. Meanwhile, Iran has reiterated its stance on the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil shipping routes. Iranian officials say the strait is open to countries not involved in the war, but closed to enemies and those supporting the attacks against Iran. Some ships have been allowed through under special arrangements. 2 Indian-flagged gas tankers were permitted to transit the strait after direct talks between Iran and India, though Iranian officials said the agreement was a one-off arrangement rather than a broader policy. A Pakistan-bound oil tanker also passed through the Strait of Hormuz over the weekend. The wider diplomatic picture remains complicated. Iran's ambassador to Saudi Arabia said relations between Iran and Gulf states will require a serious review after the war, although he stressed that regional countries ultimately cannot avoid cooperation because they are neighbors. The ambassador also denied that Iran was responsible for recent attacks on Saudi oil infrastructure, saying if Iran had carried out those attacks it would have announced it.